Thank you, Mr Acting Speaker. I rise this evening to speak on adjournment. And I'm going to rise this evening to speak on workplace culture. I actually want to make a counterpoint to the horrid week that we've had here, and actually make a positive comment on a positive workplace that I visited recently. I rise tonight to make a shout out and celebrate someone in the Northern Tasmanian community, Blaze. Blaze Barker has just been appointed as plant manager at the Longford Meatworks, and she is an incredible outcome of a supportive culture in a workplace. From school, Blaze engaged with the Workplace Pathways program and went on a visit to the local plant where she was at a local school in her school time, and enjoyed that so much and had the opportunity presented to her that she started working in there in the school holidays. This was 16 years ago. So from working casually in school holidays to then taking up a position on the plant and really committing herself to the opportunities that were provided, and demonstrating to both herself and to others that if you take the opportunities, you can make it within whatever environment you are in. 16 years later, Blaze has been appointed as the first female plant manager in the JBS group in Australia, which I think is really incredible. One of the things that I observed on site last week was that Blaze has been there 16 years. I met people that have been there 13 years. I met someone that's been there 18 years. They just recently celebrated somebody who has just left, but he was there for 40 years. Time served in a place speaks volumes about the culture and the culture of opportunities. One of the things I loved about the story of Blaze is that through her relentless striving of improvement and her determination to take up all opportunities, she has taken on extended learning and demonstrated to others what can happen when you learn, and demonstrated what can happen when you engage and when you have positive conversations. One of the stories that was shared when I was on site was that they really encourage internal promotions, and they really encourage people to take on opportunities within the group. And she was talking to another, happens to be female, not the point of this conversation actually, but another female on site who was on the tools in the plant, and they had an opportunity open up for the site accountant. Having conversations within the teams and saying, was there anyone around that had the skills? This worker who was on the tools was actually an accountant, had arrived from another country, was here positively contributing to the workplace and to the community, and is now the site accountant. An incredible demonstration of the leadership of Blaze to support from within, but take the time to get to know people. And I think that's what workplace culture is about, and that's what leadership is about. So tonight, loved my site visit, have loved over the last month getting to know Blaze and what she is achieving in her life. Still very young and has got an amazing opportunity and amazing career ahead of her. But congratulations not just to you as an individual, but for the company and all support provided. And then I want to reflect on the week we've had. What a crap week. This week has been really hard. It's been really heavy. It has been distressing in a wasted opportunity where it could have been a week that held the hopes of Tuesday, held the hopes of the day when a report was tabled, had this government the capacity or the care to actually hold that preciousness of hope and take action in a positive and respectful way, then we could have had what would have been difficult but a positive week. And it's been a really negative week. It's been a week where there's been an inability to respond to clear and simple questions, complex and hard, but clear and simple questions. There's been a demonstration of ministers that are just not up for the job, for delivering what the community need in terms of outcomes and continued progress with the work that we've been discussing this week. And it comes down to attitude, it comes down to intention, it comes down to values and personal behaviours. It comes down to a willingness and a commitment to actually create outcomes, not just operate in a state of inertia. Now, it's almost unbelievable. Earlier this morning, I eyeballed the Premier and said, is this behaviour acceptable? We had a minister who was misrepresenting elements of the Commission's report, and I asked the Premier, do you accept this, Premier? There's a classic quote that says, the standard that you accept is the one that you walk past. Well, just now, our Leader of opposition business here has cited an article that's come up in the Australian this afternoon. Now, where you have a government that has been questioned and challenged, that we are holding to account repeatedly for a whole range of different responsibilities, projects and this commission report, demonstrate that they're not up for it and demonstrate that they're not willing to do what's right. You have allegations around a minister, the attorney nonetheless, about bullying in the workplace. And I asked the Premier has already been challenged. Come into this chamber and respond to where this is at. Come into this chamber and tell us what you will do in response to this. Will you stand the attorney aside while considerations are being done of these allegations? How long have you known about this? Through the course of the work of the Commission of Inquiry, you have a minister where it's being alleged that there's bullying. How can we expect that we can trust the work of somebody with alleged such poor workplace culture to do good work in something that is so important for Tasmanians and so important for our community? We've got a culture of cover-up in this government. We have got perhaps one of the most least transparent government of all time. We have a government that doesn't stand up for its own personal accountability, for its own personal standards. This government, these ministers, the backbenchers, everyone associated will be measured by the standards and the values you hold. Where there is known to be open secrets, toxic and unsafe environments, where it is known that there are claims of bullying, not just today where an article presents itself, not just last week, not just last month or last year, but for 3 successive premiers, people have been raising this concern, that there has been a revolving door of concerns coming in and out of this office. Something must be done. The Premier must stand up and show the values and the standards that he holds, because Tasmanians expect that.
Mr. Speaker.